Hello, my name is Jamal Faison, and I am here today to read to you a speech by the late Robert F. Kennedy. The reason I'm reading this speech is because although written a long time ago, it seems to remarkably connect to what is going on now. This speech means a lot to me because it shows that we've let misfortunes from the past still affect us today. And if that's true, have we really made progress? I'm just 18 years old, and I see people being killed because of the complexion of their skin and the way they choose to live their lives. And by reading this speech, I hope you see what I see now and what he foretold all those years ago. I'll begin reading the speech now. This is a time for shame and sorrow. It is not a day for politics. I have saved this one opportunity, my only event of today, to speak briefly to you about the mindless menace of violence in America, which again stains our land and every one of our lives. It is not the concern of any one race. The victims of violence are black and white, rich and poor, young and old, famous and unknown. They are most important of all, human beings whom other human beings loved and needed. No one, no matter where he lives or what he does, can be certain who will suffer from some senseless act of bloodshed, and yet it goes on and on in this country of ours. Why? What has violence ever accomplished? What has it ever created? No martyr's cause has ever been stilled by his assassin's bullet. No wrongs have ever been righted by riots and civil disorders. A sniper is only a coward and not a hero. An uncontrollable mob is only the voice of madness, not the voice of reason. Whenever any American's life is taken by another American unnecessarily, whether it's done in the name of the law or in the defiance of the law, by one man or a gang, in cold blood or in passion, in any attack of violence or in reason to violence, whenever we tear at the fabric of the life which another man has painfully and clumsily woven for himself, as children, the whole nation is degraded. Among free men, said Abraham Lincoln, there can be no successful appeal from the ballot to the bullet, and those who take such appeal are sure to lose their cause and pay the cost. Yet we seemingly tolerate a rising level of violence that ignores our common humanity and our common claims to civilization alike. We commonly accept newspaper reports of civilian slaughter in far-off lands. We glorify killing on movie and television screens and call it entertainment. We make it easy for men of all shades of sanity to acquire whatever weapons and ammunition they desire. Too often we honor swagger and bluster and wielders of force. Too often we excuse those who are willing to build their own lives on the shattered dreams of others. Some Americans who preach nonviolence abroad fail to practice it here at home. Some who accuse others of inciting riots have by their own conduct invited them. Some look for scapegoats. Others look for conspiracies. But this much is clear. Violence breeds violence. Repression brings retaliation. And only a cleaning of our whole society can remove the sickness from our soul. For there's another kind of violence. Slow but just as deadly, destructive as the shot or the bomb in the night. This is the violence of institutions, indifference and inaction and slow decay. This is the violence that afflicts the poor, that poisons relations between men because their skin has different colors. This is the slow destruction of a child by hunger, and schools without books, and homes without heat in the winter. This is the breaking of a man's spirit by denying him the chance to stand as a father and as a man among other men, and this too afflicts us all. I have not come here to propose a set of specific remedies, nor is there a single set. For a broad and adequate outline, we know what we must do. When you teach a man to hate and fear his brother, you teach that he is a lesser man because of his color or his beliefs or the policies he pursues. We teach that those who differ from you threaten your freedom or your job or your family. Then you also learn to confront others as not fellow citizens but as enemies. To be met not with cooperation but with conquest. To be subjugated and mastered. We learn at last to look at our brothers as aliens. Men with whom we share a city but not community. Men bound to us in common dwelling but not in common effort. We learn to share only a common fear. Only a common desire to retreat from each other. Only a common impulse to meet disagreement with force. For all this, there are no final answers. Yet we know what we must do. It is to achieve true justice among our fellow citizens. The question is not what programs we should seek to enact. The question is whether we can find in our own midst and in our own hearts the leadership of humane purpose that will recognize the terrible truths of our existence. We must admit the vanity of our false distinctions among men and learn to find our own advancement in the search for advancement of others. We must admit in ourselves that our own children's future cannot be built on the misfortunes of others. We must recognize that this short life can neither be ennobled or enriched by hatred or revenge. Our lives on this planet are too short and the work to be done too great to let this spirit flourish any longer in our land. Of course, we cannot vanquish it with a program nor with a resolution. But we can perhaps remember, if only for a time, that those who live with us are our brothers, that they share with us the same short moment of life that they seek, as do we. Nothing but the chance to live out their lives in purpose and happiness, winning what satisfaction and fulfillment they can. Surely this bond of common faith, this bond of common goal, can begin to teach us something. Surely we can learn, at least to look at those around us as our fellow man. And surely we can begin to work a little harder to bind up the wounds among us and to become in our own hearts brothers and countrymen again. Thank you for listening. Bye.